could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Vineeta Hariharan. I'm a public policy expert and currently with the World Bank Group. I've been formulating policies and implementing programs, helping the government of India through multilaterals like DFID and World Bank, post my Masters in Public Policy from the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy in Singapore.
Great.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, what is your major expectation today from the National Urban Development Summit?
Yeah, this summit is extremely timely because it's being done just after 3 months of the new government's taking over. So we're actually very hopeful of understanding what the government is going to be doing for the next 5 years. As professionals and experts, we're really eager to know from the authorities as to what is going to be the action plan for the next 5 years. Having done a tremendous job in the past 5 years, we're really keen to know how they're going to be doing better than what they did last time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As rightly mentioned by you, there has been a lot of developments in Gurugram. But let's talk about the challenges. Talking about that, where is the city still lacking in terms of urbanization, in terms of planning? What is your concern over that?
Sure. Gurugram, I think, as far as we urban planners understand, is that it was an organic city. It was not really planned as such, and it was about acquiring large parcels of land and then constructing houses, and then the infrastructure and services came as an afterthought. So, which is what I'll be talking about in my session as well. How cities are actually planned by constructing houses first. When you get large parcels of cheap land in neighborhoods, you acquire this land and construct houses, and then think of the water and the social housing later on, social infrastructure after that, the post construction of houses, which is not the correct way of going about things. And then we start facing challenges of this urbanization, like in terms of the waterlogging, in terms of the traffic congestion, because we find that our transport corridors are actually not optimal to cater to the increasing traffic. So that's an error in planning and projections of need and demand of population. Yeah.
So, ma'am, as you mentioned, waterlogging and problems in water conservation and scarcity of water today in India and particularly in all the cities today. So, what are the initiatives taken by the government in Gurugram, particularly to actually enhance the development, enhance the urbanization, and also conserve water today?
Like we see the Jal mission of the new government, of this government, has been extremely timely, better late than never. It's an age-old problem, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. So we are blessed with such a huge coastline in the country and such large expanse of oceans and seas and rivers, and so it's just about conservation actually. So the government has hit the nail on its head when it actually tackles this issue of water conservation. So water, just collecting the water that is already there, that itself will cater to a huge future demand of water. So if we go about it in the right way, I think it's a very good step. But apart from just water conservation and such soft measures, I'm sure the government will actually do something about laying infrastructure for water supply, because our core problem lies in the decayed pipes which are laid across our cities. There's old copper pipes which are really bursting at its seams, and there's a lot of transmission loss in water supply, which is a big issue in water. So I'm sure 3.5 lakh crore is what I think the government has announced in the Independence Day speech. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of infrastructure work coming up, which we'll see much better cities tomorrow with adequate water supply.
Excellent. So, ma'am, as you mentioned the issues in cities like Gurugram, what are the policies of the government to actually tackle these issues and bring about more changes? Like, for example, we have the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. What are the other initiatives taken by the government today?
The previous regime, we saw the Smart City Mission, which is an extremely good initiative, where because our challenge lies in our brownfield cities, because the cities where they were just organically formed and not really well planned. Urban planning has not kept pace with city growth, because there are various reasons for this, because of the lack of enforcement, not because of the lack of planning, but lack of enforcement by development authorities of these norms. There's been huge flouting of norms across over the years, and so now now how do we tackle these errors of the past. So the only way we can do interventions in brownfield cities is by minimal interventions and these smart city solutions. So that is by the smart city program, which is a very good initiative. But in order not to repeat the mistakes of the past, in our greenfield cities like Gurugram, I would consider a greenfield. We should not replicate the mistakes of the of our city core areas, which is what is unfortunately happening in Gurgaon too. We see the pitfalls of urbanization coming up again.
Right.
So,
So, ma'am, lastly, before I end the conversation with you, what is the future of this smart city initiative in Gurgaon, and where do we actually hope to see the city changing with already urbanized platforms, already developed infrastructure? What more do we expect from this place today?
yeah, when you see developed infrastructure, yes, there are very good constructions. There are very good examples of transit-oriented development and new age construction in Gurgaon. But these are all isolated buildings, you know. So where is the connecting infrastructure? Where are the roads? The transportation corridors are choked. The city infrastructure is choked. So we really need to upgrade these infrastructures and services. And I think there is a comprehensive mobility plan prepared for Gurgaon. There's a comprehensive master plan as well. So all these have to be implemented well and enforced. That's all that the city needs to do to see a very self-contained city coming up in future.
Sure,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
Thank
sure.
you so much,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
It was a pleasure having you, chat.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
right.